Trust Scotland, who obviously they manage the canal area, so they're heavily involved in the project. LKMK Landscape Architects, they're involved because the signage that's going to go along the canal, we have to do things like planning permission. Does it meet with Historic Scotland and the actual siting of the panels? Princess Trust Group are here today. The LEADER project, the Croy Historical Society and the Twecker Healthy Living Centre. And at the bottom, as I don't have a logo, is Fiona Fleming, the artist. Okay, so that's a partnership involved in the project. A bit of the summary is, it's funded through Kelvin Valley LEADER, and it will provide orientation and interpretation panels along the canal from Twecker in East Dumbarton to Wyncote, North Lanarkshire. So there's going to be 7 areas where you're going to be working on 1 or 2 of the panels on the design of them. And they'll be designed by local people, which is you. And it's to bring a bit of history of the whole Kelvin Valley area, its key sites and places of interest. So people that come to the area, the tourists, or even people that live in the area, can look at the panel and they can see between panel 1 and panel 2 what are the things of interest that I can go off the path and go and see. Things like the Antonine Wall, which is there, but there's not a lot of signage saying there's the Antonine Wall. So this is the idea of what we're doing. We're leaving what we call a legacy for the area. This is the area in between, which covers like Croy, Milton or Campsie, Leonardstown, and parts of Kirkintilloch. So quite a wide area, and it comes under sort of rural funding because of the dispersion of the population. And that's one of the areas where you are going to be working, which is in Sparry Basin. Does anybody know what this is? No? Just the road from Cumbernauld to Kilsyth. The basin's had a lot of work done on it, so people can berth their boats there. And there's also a nice new restaurant, so if you want to stop for lunch that day, you've got a lot of money, then you can quite go in there. The aim of the project is to contribute towards leaving a legacy for the Kelvin Valley area through design and development of the panels, as I said before. It'll incorporate an environmental art theme, and it'll encourage affinity to appreciate the natural environment of the Kelvin Valley. So what you'll be doing in the box is getting to know the area, to know the history of the area, and to see about the environment and how, the things that have been done to try and improve that environment. A lot of work has been done to improve paths for people to walk, for people to cycle, and also for people to use boats on the canal. It'll use it to provide a learning experience for yourselves to achieve and contribute to gain you a better understanding of the environment. And it'll also promote the Kelvin Valley as a tourist destination. That is one of the criteria for Kelvin Valley funding, is to try and get tourists to come to that area. And one of the things that happened with the Friends of the Kelvin Valley is, you see the new M8 motorway that's getting built just now?
Yes.
That was going to come through the Kelvin Valley.
Alright.
And these guys stopped it. They got to go the other way, so we're playing with the big boys now that can stop motorways, and that's my kind of people. If they can stop a motorway, I want to work with them. It was actually going to come right through the middle of it, but they totally spoiled it. A 6-lane motorway, right? So that you can benefit a bit more. So normally within the programmes you're doing just now, this is not the kind of activity you're doing. So we're giving you a wee bit of additionality here in the hope that you'll enjoy the experience, and you will get credit for it, because when the panels are put up, whatever one you've designed, there'll be credit that you've got to get towards the design of that, so that'll be actually on the panel. So it's not something for you to remember it by. Okay? And there'll be the educational walk, which is going to be describing in a few minutes, of each of the sites, so that you can see what the site that you're looking at, the area, what's there, and get a feel for it. And the workshop with the artists will allow you to gain experience and put your skill and enthusiastic for the opportunity to share and develop the ideas through the art project. So the artist will work with you on helping you to develop your ideas. It's your ideas that we want to work with. And the Friends of the Kelvin Valley here to make sure that we've got the historical part of that, and you report back on it, so you just tell people about what you've done. And we have the evidence that throughout the project. And the project will help you to get that, and at the end of it you'll get your job award. We want you to take an active part in the project and express yourself through art. We want to encourage you to take an interest in the Kelvin Valley. We want to enhance your creative development, so you've got creativity in there that you want to release. You want to be proactive in putting forward your ideas, and most importantly, we want you to enjoy the experience. And how you do that is through my friend Graham here. Graham actually created this blog for the project, and we will give you the address for that on the web. And we want you to make comments. You can see the front page just gives a quick summary of the project. You then have the timeline of the project, so that will be telling each stage of the project. The gallery will be the pictures and things that Graham has taken. The walks is the 7 walks that I was talking about. So in there, when you've done your walk, there'll be a wee bit of history about that, a wee bit of story about that. And then the design of it, which is Fiona, I'll link directly to Fiona's blog and show you the work she's doing within the project. The manufacturer will be about when Deep Fire get involved in November. So we have a timeline between now and November to get these things designed, so that then Deep Fire then can get the process going, because it takes about 6 weeks to manufacture the panels, and then installation in January. And then the bit about the installation, and then the contacts page is just really about all the partners. But there is scope for you to go on and make comment on it to say if you've enjoyed the experience, you know, and just to make comment on any parts of it. So that's it in a nutshell. And what I'll do now is I'll pass you over to...
Had submarines going through the canal. And now off to Lyneford Lock. The canal summit reach is just a flat reaching canal with no locks in it, all the way from Glasgow through to Lyneford Lock here. So that's 16 miles without a lock in it. So there's no delays in going through locks at all. And this is a lockkeeper's cottage at Lyneford. Now, we did say that was going to get demolished in the 90s, and we put up a big campaign to get that saved. And it's now a private house, well kept, and still there. So that was a success. But in the old days, they used to get, if you wanted to go to the likes of Perth or Crieff or somewhere, you'd get on a canal boat to Portland, Down and Glasgow. You'd come along on one of the swift boats. You'd get off of here at Lyneford. There was a hotel just this side, which you could stop off in if you wanted. And that's where all the stagecoaches gathered. And the stagecoaches would then go away to Stirling, Perth, and other places. So it was a little transport hub of its time. Nowadays, it's Sleepy Hollow. First of all, anybody tell me where this is? Where? Along there, you're dead right, it's just along there. We're just where we are now. And for the real bonus, what's the weather like at the time?
Raining?
It kind of looks like it's raining, doesn't it?
Does it have doors?
Yeah, you're dead right, you're dead right. Can you see any shadows? From the sun shining? Yeah. The sun's shining down on the cloud in the sky. There's all the shadows to prove it. And they've got the brollies, because then you had to be pale and interesting. You see, there was none of this business of going off to Ibiza or somewhere and getting yourself a really good overall tan. Because if you came out tanned, then it showed you were just an ordinary working person in the fuels, you see. So you had to take, if the sun came out, your brolly went up, so you kept the sun off your way at the time, if you like. And here's a barge coming through the bridge. The bridge, as you can see, it's a lifting bridge, two sides, going up like that. Just as the same as they had at Townhead here at Kirkmantilloch as well. And about 30 years ago, I interviewed a guy called David Thompson, because he used to live in that bridge. And he remembers walking down from Kilsyth to Craigmarlock. And he says his heart, and remember this is the words of him remembering as he was when he was just a wee boy speaking. He said his heart missed a beat or two with excitement when the ship's siren blared out and it was time to go out the gangway. He said, I knew it was just a small steamship, but even so the captain in his full naval uniform took command and looked every inch the part. And Hugh Ross, as a wee boy and his family, they sailed all the way from Craigmarlock to Auchenstary, all of a mile and a bit, and then they got off and walked back home again. And he remembered that. He was in his 70s talking with huge enthusiasm to me about that experience. So it really lived with him at the time. And another shot of the boat going through the brig at Craigmarlock. And if you wanted to get married, well, great place to get married. And here's the tea room itself all laid out with a big wedding cake up here inside there. So it was quite a centre for people to come and enjoy holiday and leisure type experiences. And that's one thing we've been trying to get back to. Because when the canal closed in the 60s, everything became derelict, everything was totally miserable, and it was being completely unused. And we wanted to get back to the stage where this great asset could be reused again, as it is now. Here's the cottages. Any of you working on the boards of Craigmarlock, that's the cottages that were there, they're not there now. We tried to save those cottages, but we failed in this case.